Welcome back to Culture and Code, the podcast where we decode big tech ideas and ask the uncomfortable question: does this actually help the business?
Or is it just another slide with the word AI bolded and a gradient background?
I like my slides that say AI.
I'm
It's a
sure you do.
highlight of my day. I put an AI on there and I send it to people. Today we're talking about agentic AI, powered data platform modernization.
Which sounds intense, but really means your data platform finally starts pulling its weight.
And not just pulling its weight technically, but actually contributing to decisions, reliability, and the trust.
Yep.
So when people hear agentic AI, they picture autonomous systems running wild, like some kind of chaotic scene out of a movie
Or spring break.
or Spring Break.
Relax. No one's letting your data lake make executive decisions.
In practical terms, agentic AI means systems that can reason, plan, take action, and adapt across steps, and not just responding to your prompts.
So instead of AI answering a question once, it can observe what's happening, learn from it, and adjust what it does next.
Yep. And in the Microsoft ecosystem, which we keep mentioning, that looks like Copilot style agents operating across Fabric, Azure Data Services, Power BI, and Purview, and it's all connected.
The important shift is this. Your data platform stops being passive infrastructure.
Yep, and it starts acting more like an intelligent collaborator that works with your teams instead of waiting to be asked. You got to think about that the agent is looking for conversations, right?
Mm,
It's looking for conversations and being able to converse back. It's not looking for you just to say, here's a prompt, go do this, right?
yeah.
Um, in organizations, the traditional data platforms assume everything is predictable.
Businesses are not predictable ever.
Requirements change mid-quarter, right? The data quality drifts, the ownership gets fuzzy, and then teams reorg.
Agentic AI helps because it can continuously observe, interpret, and respond as those conditions change, which they will.
Yep. And in Microsoft Fabric, that's powerful because the platform is already unified. The OneLake, Lake Houses, Synapse, and Power BI.
That means agents can reason within the platform instead of stitching insights together across disconnected tools and handoffs.
Exactly. That's less glue code and fewer brittle workflows. This is more resilience in action.
Now I want peanut brittle.
Peanut
Anyway,
brittle, peanut brittle is terrible. I don't know why you like that.
right. Let's talk about the least glamorous but highest value use case, data reliability.
Yep. The dashboard is only impressive until it's wrong.
Exactly. And that's usually when trust erodes fast.
Yep. And with agentic AI, you can have agents that monitor pipelines in Fabric. They detect upstream data drift, flag anomalies before reports break, and then recommend corrective actions.
So instead of engineers reacting to failures at 6 a.m., well, you might be up at 6 a.m. I'm not up at 6 a.m. Right before an exec meeting.
Exactly. They can wake up at 6:30 a.m. Now, the system is going to proactively protect trust behind the scenes.
That's the kind of modernization the business actually notices, even if they don't know why things feel smoother.
Exactly. The self-service analytics has been promised for years.
And delivered mostly in the form of Slack questions or Teams
Or
questions.
Teams questions. There you go. Agentic AI changes that dynamic.
And with Copilot and Power BI and Fabric, agents can translate business questions into semantic queries, recommend the right data sets, explain metric definitions, warn users when conclusions don't align with the data.
Yeah, I agree. If you think about it, analysts, they stop being human query engines. Instead, they start being strategic partners who help frame decisions instead of pulling numbers all day.
All day long. That's a subtle shift, right? But it completely changes how analytics teams show up in the business.
Exactly. And now again, we're bringing you a Marvel quote moment. It's funny. We keep making jokes about like Starbucks or maybe even Pepsi being our sponsor, but we might want to call Marvel. Let's do that.
Yeah.
That's something we'll do after this podcast.
Yep.
But in all seriousness, every enterprise transformation deserves a superhero metaphor, and that's the reason why we do it.
It most certainly does. And today's quote comes from Thor. A victory has more meaning when it is won by the ingenuity of your own brain.
I love that. It's your own brain. I mean, you really think about that line, it's really agentic AI in a nutshell. It's not just a prompt that you sent and it just responded and is, back and forth. It's
Yeah,
using your own brain, right?
exactly. Agentic platforms aren't about replacing human intelligence, they're about amplifying it.
Yep. The AI handles observation, execution, and scale.
And humans bring judgment, context, and intent. That's where the real win actually happens.
Exactly. Governance, when we're talking about big G governance, it usually slows modernization down, or at least it's the perception.
Or it kills it entirely in a review.
Yeah. The agentic AI actually flips that model, right? So completely changes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and when agents are using things like Microsoft Purview, for example, it's going to classify the sensitive data automatically, track lineage across, workloads in Fabric or, Azure or anything else, enforce access policies dynamically, and surface compliance risks in real time.
exactly. If I may, the governance then becomes embedded in how the platform operates and not bolted on after the fact. And that's what makes scale possible.
Absolutely. This shift isn't just technical, it is cultural
Exactly. But data teams are moving from just building pipelines.
to stewarding intelligent systems that continue to learn and adapt.
Yeah. Agentic AI doesn't replace data platforms itself. It finally lets the operate at the speed and complexity of the business.
Thanks for listening to Culture and Code today. Share feedback, comments, ideas on future episodes using hashtag Culture and Code Podcast.
Exactly. Share, like, subscribe. I like that. Let's
Yeah,
keep
share,
using
like,
them.
subscribe. And if
Exactly.
your data platform still needs babysitting, this episode was just for you.
Exactly. Until next time, thanks for listening.
Thank you. See you next time.